Jay, what are you jamming on right now?
Man, I'm jamming on several games. It is a great time to be a gamer, some would say. First of all, playing a lot of 33 Immortals. I was just saying, like, guys were just texting me right now, the party invite code, because they're running. But unfortunately, man, like, that game has been so much fun, but I think we're almost done playing it for now. Like, we've done almost everything from a feat perspective, and the feats are kind of like your in-game goals. They're like literally feats. And so we've gone through a lot of that, but the way it's structured, like there's going to be three, I guess, giant levels with three giant main bosses at the end. Each level has like chambers, dungeons in it. So that, there's a lot to do. But right now there's only two of them, and they're still working on the third one, and that's not supposed to be coming out until like August or something. And so progressively, the first one has up to 33 people. It's been a lot of fun. The second one up to 22, and the third one that they're working on, which will be the hardest, is supposed to be up to 11. But regardless of all that, it's been fun to play. But unfortunately,
So
me and
was
the
it
guys have,
released with the first two already, or
yeah, just the first two without the third, which made sense because like you're literally, like I said, it's like Hades, where you're going back in and playing it over and over again to like level up
no?
and power
No,
up
Jay,
and
it
stuff.
doesn't make sense to release games that aren't finished. I disagree.
I agree. Well, I agree with you. Like we didn't know the structure of it. Like we're playing it and it's fun, and as you get into it, it's like, yeah, this is still great. But to your point, it's gotten to the point where before we were beating both of those levels. Well, the first level with ease. The second level, most of the time you're completing
Oh,
it.
so this is something you do over and over and over again. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Hades, like you got to keep going in to
I
advance
understand
further.
that,
Yeah.
but I thought you were saying that it's, I don't know, such a slow plod that you had been working through that tier system this whole time and have just now gotten to the end of. But if you're telling me that a game that you quickly would go through all three things, it just isn't released with the third one.
Well,
Holy shit! Out of bed shitting.
well, I mean, I think that's kind of the issue right now because it's super fun. The things you have to do in it are fun to play. Like playing it over and over. Yeah, I want to go do that. I want to go join the guys and play that again and do it again and get the I want to get all the power babies and keep making
That's
my dude
nice.
more and more
I can
powerful
hear us
because it's
cruising towards
fun.
a power baby mention there.
But then, of course, it's coming. The power babies are necessary, But then the last couple, like the last month that we've been playing, really, there's been like less and less people playing, and it's getting to the point where we can get through the level, but by the time you get to the boss, when you had 20 people, now you have 8 or 9, and it's like that's not enough DPS to get through the boss because they buffed it as well because people are flying through it. So they made it harder and less people are playing.
It doesn't auto scale with the number of active fucking players. That's
No,
also seems stupid.
no. But I mean, at the same time, I think that's part of what they are trying to balance because it did feel like at first it was hard as you were just trying to figure it out and you were failing all the time. But then as you actually leveled up further and further, then it's like, okay, now I can run through the first level, no problem. The second level, all right, getting better at it, better at it. We're leveling up, we're powering up. Once you do that and you're starting to get through the second level with pretty much ease, what left is there to do? And that is kind of the problem right now with the fact that they haven't released the third one yet. So, and I think because of that, and I checked the Reddits, the Reddit agrees, and we all know that means it's the truth automatically.
Whatever the internet says, yeah.
Right. But people are pretty much saying like, hey, they got to release more content. I'm just going to move on until they come back with the third level. And that kind of sucks because you're playing it and you realize when you get to the end, you're like, we got 8 people. The smallest amount of people we've ever been able to do this with was like 14. Now we got like 7, 8. Like this is not working. So that's a bummer. But still going to try it every now and then. Like still going to step in and see like, are people playing? How many people are in there? Is it good? See who's checking out the Xbox, looking for game posts. But thankfully, like I said, there's no shortage of good games, and I'm pretty sure I texted you guys about it. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Like, I started this game not knowing where it fit into the Elder Scrolls lore, right? But like, me, if you guys have listened to this at all,
It's 4, right? It's just the one right before Skyrim.
it's the one directly before Skyrim chronologically. And again, like I started playing this really with my only thing being Elder Scrolls, but I'm an Elder Scrolls Online guy. Like that's been my only. Even though I own multiple versions of Skyrim because they have come with like my PlayStation or I have it in VR for whatever reason. I have and it's available on Game Pass. I've just never really got into it so much because it felt just old to me, and Elder Scrolls Online felt so far forward. But again, I played that for a good 6+ years and loved that. But because of that, I didn't realize how much because I'm having.
You might be the only. Okay. It's insane that you haven't fucking played Skyrim. It's fucking crazy.
Well, I know, but Skyrim came out when my daughter.
I've heard all your rationale. I hear all your rationale now. It's fucking crazy that you haven't played Skyrim, dude. It's crazy.
I've dipped my toe into it, but it felt graphically old when I actually did because I didn't play it right when it came out because I was like, I'm a new parent. I don't have time for this. Whatever. But yeah, because of that, again, ESO was the most advanced thing for me, and it was
insane to say too. Your kids are not young. The idea that that is a memory you have of I'm a new parent. I can't play Skyrim. This new game Skyrim is crazy. That's fucking means this fucking Skyrim is so old. It makes sense. 2013. We're talking about 2013 when it came out, right? That's how.
No, 2011.
Is it 2011?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I had to check the timeline because I was like, "Wait a minute, when was that? When was that released?"
Wait, really a long time. Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Right? Sorry. Exactly, but either way, and I'm not a huge. I guess I skip a lot. I have skipped a lot of stuff ESO lore wise in the game just because there's so freaking much of it, And not every time I played did I want to sit and read every lore book I picked up, but I picked up so much of it that when I started playing Elder Scrolls 4, you drop yourself in Cyrodiil, which in ESO is a PvP zone. So I'm always looking around, expecting to get shanked by the 3 armies, but clearly.
And is it so recognizable that
it's recognizable.
Yeah,
it is totally. So I paused it and I got online to look into the actual chronology of when does this take place, because I saw one of the keeps that I'm always fighting for in shambles. So I was like, what happened? But then I realized Elder Scrolls Online takes place 1,000 years before Elder Scrolls 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1,000 years specifically before this. And so to me, I'm like, oh, so everything that I have done in the past literally already happened here. So this is after me playing, which kind of is a cool thing since I've never touched it.
I saw a really cool idea, just whatever, internet chatter about this. I have zero support for just giving me old games. Of course, give me a new one, you fucks. But it's a very cool idea to bring at least 3, 4, and 5, which were, I think 1 and 2 were I don't know, so basic
kind of
that
whatever. Yeah,
not feasible. But 3 was the first one where I think it kind of had an open world vibe to it and whatever. So bringing all 3 of those forward into a modern remaster and making one big world that you can exist in, even if I think they should take the time. I think they should take the time to, just create new quests and stuff. I don't even know this. I don't know enough to know whether it's really feasible or how it would work with story, whatever. But the idea of marrying all the worlds into one big world is a really cool idea.
That's ESO. Just play ESO.
Because it's all it has. I mean,
yeah, you have all. That's
you're telling me it's before, so things are. I mean,
oh, you mean
I don't know. Drop
in their time.
Now. Yeah, drop me. I mean, I hope again. I don't. That's maybe to my point about not knowing enough about the story, but my presumption would be that 3, 4, and 5 are in chronological order, and that if you drop me in at the end of 5 having concluded, I'm in a world where the lore of all 3 of these things has built up to what we are at today, and that is a really cool idea for exactly what you're saying. I know these things, especially like lifetime players of this series, are going to drop in and be able to like recognize all of this. That New York vibe I always talk about. Like I can't, you know this stuff intimately, and like to walk around that world after all these experiences have happened and be able to experience it, and then hopefully do new stuff too, is a really cool idea that they are fortunate enough to be in a position to be able to do. No doubt it's an undertaking. Although I like someone I was, again, just more internet chatter, was like, they don't even do this shit in house. Like they outsource this to someone and just like fucking handle this while we do other stuff, So it's not like some like, this wasn't like a pet internal project that they were like, super stoked about and like dedicated a bunch of resources to. It was, they outsourced this to some other company, and just said, here's the shit, whatever, fucking here's the assets.
ESO 4 or Elder Scrolls 4?
That's what I maybe again. Sure? I'm fair enough to dive deep on that, but that was the chatter that I was reading.
I don't know. I'd be shocked as a Microsoft I'd be very shocked about that, but you never know.
Anyways, yeah, that's a cool thing that they could do to make this a more appealing thing rather than just a remaster of an existing old game.
I don't know. Regardless, like the graphics are absolutely amazing, and I think this is what I was looking for from an Elder Scrolls standpoint, and I didn't even know it. Like, because I just, the idea of a remaster to me wasn't that exciting. I was just kind of like, let me just check it out, and I'm just, again,
have they not done this with Skyrim?
No,
haven't they done this?
Not like, I don't think they have. Well,
not like the modern.
I don't
feel like they've sold it 87 fucking thousand times. How has that not been one of them?
I don't know, man. I know that clearly there's a version on Game Pass, but I don't think it's been remastered. I feel like we would have heard about it by now. Right. I feel like it would have gotten as much press as this did, so I don't think so.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm sure that's inevitable if this is at all.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, if you like the Elder Scrolls world, check it out. Like, that's all I gotta say. If you have never tried it, like, and you're looking for a one-player RPG to get into, absolutely check into that. But also, pulling my time away from that at the same time, giving us first world gaming problems, Expedition 33. Oh my gosh, man. This is, without a doubt, game of the year front runner at this point. Like, there's zero debate. Like, it's what I think people must have felt like when they played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, or Skyrim for the first time. Like, whatever that RPG is that was just like, to you, I feel like that's what Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is. Has such a unique, mysterious story. One that I actually want to know the details of. Like, it's a unique idea. It's not like a rinse repeat. It's not just like a boring, somebody got killed, save them, or somebody got snatched, save them, or whatever. It's such a cool idea. The gameplay is turn-based, but it's so good, man. It's so good. Like, it just, I don't want to spoil anything for any reason, because if you're listening to this and you have not played it, you're doing yourself a disservice by not checking this game.
Turn-based, I feel like, man, how awesome
the combat is. But like, you still have to dodge. Like, the enemies come to you, you still can dodge. You still have to dodge and parry. So you got to learn enemies' mechanics who are coming at you real time, especially if they're bosses. But like, each person in your party has their own turns, your own stats. Like, to me, this is the best RPG, like, of this type that I've ever played. It's without a doubt. Hands down, full stop. There it is.
That's why one of the things I really liked about the Divinity Sins was that like, well, I guess Baldur's Gate is also that, but everything else is real time, and then the battles turn-based was something I liked a lot about Divinity Sin.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny. Like, I walked up to this battle. I was kind of wiping people left and right in the open world for a bit. I walked into this boss battle, and it took me a full day to get through. Like, I had to play the game, die, and I was like, maybe I'm just too weak to fight this person. Had to, clear the cache, come back the next day, and at that point, I think maybe just because I was fresher, had a cup of coffee, it was the weekend, I was actually able to look at the boss and see their tells better and see what's happening at each individual mechanic. And they had like 6 different mechanics. And so once I sat through that, just learning, all right, now this is what not just learning the mechanics, but then learning when I need to execute my dodge or parry for the whole party each time. But when I got through that, the feeling of that, I felt just like, oh, this must just be what feeling godlike feels. Like it was so satisfying to get through that. And the upgrade system is so good. Oh man, I cannot say enough about this game.
Yeah, if someone, I heard that word within the last week or so somewhere else. One of my pods, maybe.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Get it, do it now. Done.
I'm sure it's coming on VR any second.
All right, but yeah,
okay.
That's pretty much it, man. Those are the top, the best. A little sprinkle of college football here and there. I actually got back into ESO because of Oblivion as well. Because of Oblivion and because of like things I've heard like coming to ESO, like subclasses where I could maybe take my beloved first original character, my main sorcerer, and maybe take a skill line from my second character that I created, my Dragonite, and adding like a fire subclass to him might be like a fun idea. So that, and the fact that some of the guys that I've played with, for the longest time in ESO are still playing or back playing. So I'm like, all right, let me just, dip my toe into that and kind of see what's happening again in that world. It's good stuff, man. You're missing out.
I still haven't done the multiplayer thing on No Man's Sky. I just can't. It's the idea. It's just such an exhausting thought dealing with other human beings in a video game.
We were playing No Man's Sky, and then I just looked at like honestly disk-based issue, and I was like, all right, No Man's Sky. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Yeah. I almost exited that segment without talking about the other games I've been playing, just because like these have been kind of the main Jerry by himself playing moments. But because we had been playing No Man's Sky and I needed to make space for these other games, I had to remove No Man's Sky periodically because we jumped into Split Fiction. Have you heard of this game yet?
Is that the one where you do it's like the same guy who made
Co-op.
that Convict game? Yeah, but it's like a very story based. That's the one he did that game where they escape from prison. Amy and I tried that.
I don't know, but like this is the company that made what is the game? It Takes Two, I think.
Yeah.
But that was not a prison game. That was a couple game. Like that was such a deep story. Me and Courtney played through that. Like that was amazing. But this game,
I'm pretty sure it's the same company.
This game is like they're known for that game, and then this game is two writers who go to this publishing thing. It's basically fantasy. Like long story short, like the games that this company makes are required to be 2 players. So if I buy the game and you want to play with me,
almost certain this is
play. But
it was couch co-op for that.
It's couch co-op or it can be online as well.
Yeah.
But this one is like, so it switches back and forth between a fantasy world and a sci-fi world. But regardless of the gameplay is fun. It's great. It's cooperative, obviously, because it's 2-player. And that's a blast, just like the last game. But the thing that makes this game unique and also like definitely top in its category, whatever that category is, like it's going to be nominated for awards for sure. But like the camera work with some of the things you do is amazing. Like Courtney and I were sitting on the couch, literally looking at each other with shock and awe, like, oh my gosh, at multiple moments in that game. Just because like at one point, because you're fantasy, like you're in a world where like giants are carrying you around, helping you get to the next destination, which because they're giants and you, instead of like climbing a beanstalk, let's say you have to get like way up in the sky. These giants are like, you have to climb up a tree. They'll put their hand out. You jump in their hand, then the giant swings his hand out and like throws you somewhere else. But the way the cameras work to move you around and the things you have to do, it feels, I've never played a game that has done that with camera work and like jumping puzzles at the same time. And it's amazing. Like they've done it with multiple ways and just the way your weapons work and the way it makes you move your camera angles. It's just really well done. Like if you're looking for a couch co-op game and something unique and different, I highly recommend that game. Split Fiction, 100%. 100%.
I'm pretty sure it's that. We what the fuck was that called?
I know. Now I gotta check it out. What was it?
Yeah, like a
It Takes Two. It Takes Two is the game I'm thinking about. 100%, It Takes Two.
And that was not
by Light Studios. So I don't think that's what you're thinking about.
No. Played a game like that, and it was about two convicts trying to get out of escape from prison or something like that. And
oh wait, was it called A Way Out?
Yes,
that is a game. Yes, that's him then.
Yeah,
I never even played that. Never played that.
I mean,
that was their first game.
The co-op focus is cool. Hopefully, it's come a long way because actual gameplay was it was very like, I don't know, it was very railroaded in, I don't know, just a lot of ways. There was a lot of things about it because that game was like really highly touted for being in this vein and being, I mean, like you're saying, you don't even know what it's called. It's like it's kind of its own new semi-new genre, and it was really heralded for that. It was probably a Game Pass thing or something, or I don't know. That probably may have been before Game Pass when I was still.
Yeah, that was a little early.
Yeah. Anyways,
but It Takes Two definitely same thing. Yeah, definitely heralded this one, same thing. I think they've gotten better and better at it. So that's why I think they diversified it a lot in this one, which was more than It Takes Two, because It Takes Two had, to me, a great story. Like it pulled at your heartstrings. Like it was deep. You know, it was about like two people getting divorced at first, and you're kind of being forced into this adventure together, knowing that you were about to separate. And so it's like it's a very adult game, and that was good. And this is more like, all right, it's not going to be as deep like that, but we're going to do these different things with the gameplay and angles and camera play that make it like, whoa, okay, now I'm experiencing something new. So
yeah, the Way Out was the same thing. It was like it was trying to be, yes, for adults for sure. I don't know if it achieved it well, but I remember that being like you could feel the effort towards that, it being a mature, they were having like, it was mature. It was a very mature approach and an adult approach. It wasn't just like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I said, they're trying to escape prison. There was like an emotional layer to it, not just like action prison guy, like nice. There was like an effort towards story for sure. So yeah, hopefully it's further down the road.
Yep.
Word.
Yep. And then finally, so much gaming, man. Like I said, so much gaming. Towerborn. Have you heard of it yet? So this is another game like Expedition 33 that, debuted or that Microsoft put out or Xbox put out one of their previews like last year or whatever, that had me like, oh, when this game comes out, I'm checking it out. And it's fun, man. It's like the art style is amazing, way different than Clair Obscur. More like comic art, but it's like a co-op up to 4-player side-scrolling fighter, like beat 'em up. But like you definitely level up your characters and stats. Like you have to keep defending this tower because your kingdom got kicked out of like where your homeland was by whatever. But like now, you basically grew up in this tower far away. That's why you're Towerborn, and you really pretty much just have been trained to fight to try to like get your homeland back. But it's like this fun, colorful, again, just a 4-player beat 'em up. But you level up and like so me and Courtney have been playing it. It's really fun. The art style, like I said, is really unique. But there's more of a story there too. And because it's up to 4-player, we're gonna have Zeke join in with us today as well. So I'm hoping like we can get a full co-op 4-player family thing going on, in any way that we can get us together in a game that we can all play that's not too much for us or too easy for the kids, like, or vice versa. It's going to be good. So highly recommend Towerborn as well for co-op fun. So Yeah, I don't know if I have time for anything else between these games. Honestly, like I could play them all the time and play nothing else between the mix.
Well, you're gonna have to find time for Solar Jetman, Jay.
That is true. That is true. Freaking Solar Jetman. Golly.
Okay. That's the end of the line?
Yeah, that is the end of the line.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Well, good that you had plenty to say. I don't have much. There's so few jams during movies. I picked it up one time. I take it with me every time, and I rarely have / never have time to touch it. I don't know why I do. All I really did, because I was staying in this fucking house cabin thing that didn't have central. I mean, none of the places have fucking central heating there. It's, I don't know. I guess there's reasons, mountains. I don't know, technology. Who knows? I'm not a fucking energy fucking expert. But everything's fucking fire there. So the house only had like fireplace heat, which is, I don't know. I've said this a bunch in the last few weeks. I don't know how man got anything done when they had to deal with fire every day. It's so much work to keep fire going all day long. It's so much work. And I don't even got to cut the wood. They have like a shed with all the wood in it. So that's the hard part even. And even with that being taken care of for you, it's still so much work and such a pain in the ass. So whatever. But anyways, it's fire. And if you burn wood in your house, guess what? Everything smells like firewood. And my headset now smells like fucking firewood and it pisses me off a great deal, especially because I didn't really fuck with it the entire time I was there. It was a complete, there was no benefit to the lesser part or less downside that I have now took upon myself. So very frustrating there. I picked it up one time to play Walkabout on a day where I had a little bit of downtime. I played Arizona Modern, which I hadn't played in a long time. That's such a great course. It's so serene and peaceful. It was actually a nice decompression moment, but it was not worth packing it. And like the whole time this is fucking who cares, but like packing it and keeping it, it doesn't fit in the case with that luxury headset, and I didn't want to take the headset off and put on the shitty old one. So like it was like a whole headache to like pack and keep safe, and I had to move around a bunch while I was there for dumbass reasons. Like, it was just fucking a terrible idea to take it, basically. So I didn't play much because I just got back, but I have jumped back in and got a little bit of No Man's Sky shit since I got back. No real updates for that. I'm just fucking aimlessly wandering the universe. It is kind of like, I don't know, it's a little like, there is a story, and like actually one of the sessions I got into a fucking like really making a lot of progress in one of the big main storylines. But like there's something about the main storylines that are like, I don't know, man. It's like you don't actually, I don't know, there's something missing from them. I don't know how even, I'm not sure, I can't put my finger on what it is, but you just kind of feel like you're moving around from thing to thing, and like they're giving you a story, and I even like the story, I even feel like emotionally impacted at times, but when the conversation is over, I go back to this like emptiness about it. And I don't know how to describe what the problem is there, but there's something about it that is just like, I don't know, there's just so much that you never feel like you're actually making progress, and maybe that's the fucking thing I don't know what it is, but like, there's something missing. And at times I'm just like, what am I doing, man? I'm just flying back and forth and fucking doing, I'm just like this endless procession of things. I don't know if I don't know. I'm not being emotionally satiated here, which is a weird, I don't know, because it's like total wonder at all times. I'm just like, I just like got transported, like the story took me to this new fucking world place thing. And I was like, it's like completely foreign. And like, I started finding, like, I've been wondering, like, I told you there's animals on every one of these fucking billions of planets you go to. And like, none of them had really fucked with me in like a hostile way. And I wasn't sure that was even possible. And I went to this world and I was like walking and like something fucking happened to me. I'm like, what the fuck? there's hostile enemies and shit. So like, I don't know, like the idea I played so much, the idea that like, I don't know, that like I hadn't reached a threshold where they were still babying me, or whatever. Like I was still being baby was like what I'm kind of thinking, and like I reached like this level in the main story. It's like, okay, now you've got to eyes up, motherfucker. Shit can happen to you now that couldn't happen to you before. The idea that I could have played that long and just broken through whatever membrane that would have been to me is crazy. I don't know if it's just random that I hadn't encountered anything hostile yet, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I'm still playing it, and I that's not gonna stop. But like, there is something about it that's just like, oh man, I don't know, man. Something's missing, or I haven't found something yet that makes me feel like I want to feel when I'm playing a game like that.
Yeah.
So whatever. But when I first turned it on, there was like a 6 gigabyte fucking update that had to happen, of course. So while I was waiting for that to happen, I jumped into Subnautica just to fuck around. It's a fuck around, whatever, time kill thing. And I won time capsules. I don't know if I've ever talked about those on here. Maybe I have. But time capsules are... So when you play that game and you actually get off the planet at the end, one of the like in-game things you can do is you can make this, you take this little this like fucking tube, and you can write a message, include a picture, a screenshot picture from that you've taken while playing the game, and a written message, and a handful of items, basically, from your inventory. The idea being that you're leaving the planet, and you can leave this thing for other players to find randomly down the line. And I think this only exists for PC. I don't think this was in the Xbox version I was playing originally, and that's why I don't know, I can't remember if that's true or not. Whatever the case. Actually, yeah, because send him to Jab, because Subnautica. So, and he actually said I've only found a handful of those in my life. I found one I found 6 of them in this game already. I found one each of the last 3 times I've played. And it's such a cool thing, man. It's such a interesting and cool way, a direct way to communicate with players in a game where isolation is so much of the thing, that you're stuck alone in this fucking crazy, terrifying, confusing environment, you know what I mean? And when you like stumble upon these, and they're just like, there is nothing notable to direct you to them. You'll just be going along and be like, holy fuck, is that a time capsule? Holy shit. And like, it's so exciting because you just never know what it's going to say. And they can be hilarious. They can be like really deep and fucking emotionally thoughtful. Like, it's just crazy what can be communicated through them, both emotionally, and also the trinkets are cool. Like if especially if you find one early game, you might get handed some like super late game thing that like, I got the stasis rifle, which is probably one of the, I can make it now if I want to. It essentially freezes anything that you shoot with it, because you can use your knife to kill things in that game, but you don't have any real offensive capabilities, especially like your person, So this is the one thing that's actually like a gun, but it doesn't do damage. It's a stasis rifle. So it freezes. The idea being like, if you're getting attacked by something huge, you can freeze it for a second and run away, Mm-hmm. So it's a rather late game thing. And I never even bothered to build it because I'm not out fucking with Reapers. I don't want to, I'm not trying to engage things like that. Anyways, so I never bothered to build it, but I got this in this latest one, and like now I have one, and like I don't know, I'll probably fuck around with it just because I didn't have to bother to build it. So shit like that, you can just be handed something that's like incredibly useful or way further down the tech tree or whatever it might be, and also like like cool little base decorations that there's only a handful of. Like I got a teddy bear in the one that I had one of before, so now I have 2 of them, and like it's just a really really cool function or mechanic in the game that I cannot. It was such a brilliant idea, and I just love the way it fucking works in the game.
Man, that would be amazing to find a stasis rifle right now, because I've had stuff attacking me regularly, like on my base planet. So I would love to have that, because I'm just like burrowing and running away.
I'm talking about Subnautica right now.
Oh, I'm still thinking about No Man's Sky. Why did I think about that?
Yeah, No Man's Sky should have. Well, that's the thing. No Man's Sky is constantly interacting with other players, so it wouldn't have the same impact for sure.
But I thought you were getting attacked by stuff in Subnautica before. Maybe I misremembered that then.
I was talking about No Man's Sky at the beginning of this. I switched.
No,
I
no,
switched.
I'm thinking like back another time when you were talking about Subnautica. Like I'm trying to remember you getting like attacked as you were going up. I'm like,
Oh,
was he getting
you do get,
attacked?
yes, you do get attacked. Again, I was talking about No Man's Sky when I was saying I found hostile enemies.
Okay, it's all mixing together.
Fair enough. Anyways, yeah, so that's one cool thing. To find a bunch of time capsules. Like I said, I found 3 of them the last 3 times I played. 1 each time I turned it on. And, Jab said he's only found a handful in his fucking life, which is just really cool, I think. 2, so I'm out that the first time I pick it back up, I had been, part of the reason I stopped playing Subnautica was because I had hit this kind of, there's this late game in like gatekeeping thing where like the Cyclops is the big huge submarine you need. That's like the last vehicle, and it's necessary to go deep enough to go through the end game stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And to get the Cyclops, you got to find blueprints for 3 parts of it, like whatever, who cares what they are. You got to find and like each blueprint has like 3 parts to the blueprint. You got to like basically you got to go out and find in Rex pieces of these 3 things, 3 pieces for each one. So it's 9 things you got to find, and there's
you're telling me you don't have the locations written down at this point, like mapped out.
It doesn't have a map, so it's even hard. Like, dude, I played the shit out of that game. I still am lost sometimes and you can look at online, of course maps exist, but it's not in the game. I don't want to do that anyways. So like it's a very disorienting game. It just is. You're underwater, shit's fucking confusing at all times, and like it doesn't, it's not, to its credit, it's not like, the biomes are not, it's like an ocean should be, it's like confusing, and like the borders are not fucking, it's just confusing.
You can't just easily go one way versus the other. You're just gonna open underwater.
Once you find something, you could drop a beacon, and then that gives you, like, once you have a few of those, you can kind of triangulate things. So I have whatever, but like especially like individual little things, wreck pieces, like you can't remember that shit, dude. Especially it's been a while since I played. And this one, it's funny too, though. When I found the last piece, I was like, I'd kind of been looking, like I didn't even know I was looking for it, but I was kind of looking for this wreck. I knew this wreck had shit. I knew, like, this is where I have completed this blueprint thing in multiple playthroughs, basically. So chances are that's intelligent design, and there's a reason it's hard to find. It's definitely a little further out, and it's definitely in a little bit of a dangerous place, and yada, yada, yada. So, and I inherently have said, I don't want to fuck with Reapers. I know where Reapers are, vaguely. I just don't go those places. So, like, there's not really any significant story things, where Reapers are. So I don't need to go there for the most part, with the exception of this one thing.
Is a Reaper like an evil shark, or what is it?
The most fucked up thing in the game. It's horrific. If you look, like, the videos where the thing grabs your fucking submarine and like fucking smashes it and it's in your face, like, if you look up Reaper Subnautica, it's a whole thing, and they're terrifying, and you do not want to be near them, and they're a problem for sure. And like, I actually got a little loosey-goosey on a recent playthrough, and I was fucking swimming through a fucking area, and I thought I was kind of being semi-safe enough, but I wasn't. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, fucking they're
pretty scary.
Horrifying.
I cannot imagine running into that underwater. You just
they make the reason they're called Reapers because they make this noise, and you can fucking hear that. It's underwater. It's one of the coolest things about that game too is the way the soundscape works, and you can you hear things long before you see them. And there's so many of these things, and there are so many places that you can, you get to the edge of some of the safer biomes, you can hear them, and you're like, oh yeah, I fucking was at fucking shit. Get your bearings and fucking get your head on straight and get the fuck away from that, like, so but like, if you're in an area where they are, you're gonna hear them for sure. So I was kind of just blowing through one and like didn't fucking pay attention and fucking it. Luckily, it can't murk your sea moth in one. It needs to get you twice. But fucking yeah, I definitely got yoked up, and that was the first time in so long I didn't want to yoke you up because again I just know to avoid these things. So it's whatever, they're cool. But so I found this fucking thing and got the huge submarine. So now that's like that unlocks the end of the game. And the reason I kind of fallen off of it because I couldn't find that thing and I couldn't really go any further in the story. And all I want to do is see everything in this game in VR is my entire purpose for playing it right now with this playthrough, of course. So not being able to see the end game was, of course, frustrating, and that's why I stopped playing. So now I unlocked that, fucking back on that road. So I'll probably end up playing this quite a bit in the next week and finishing this shit because, yeah, seeing, you know, those ending things in VR are going to be fucking incredible, I think, and that will be amazing. So that's it. Let's talk about the official Nintendo Player's Guide.